What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the KITEcast. My name is Denis, Taradin, and I'm the host of the season 3 of our KITE podcast. This podcast is about the kite surfing, kite foiling, kiteboarding, but we mainly talk about the kite foiling because that's what I do. This year we're trying to different channels of distribution, maybe Spotify, iTunes. So whenever you're listening or you have a helicopter here. It's been flying here all day.
Yeah, right.
That's
Is it search and rescue?
yeah. No, I think it's not rescue. It's just searching for people, a legal one, because it's a police one with a big camera up front.
Hopefully not from a bad offshore day.
No, it's probably because the guys who smuggling drugs
Oh fuck.
from Africa, they go over the channel all the time, but usually they land either in Tarifa or in La Linea, where the Alex from 3-4 Boards lives.
Oh yeah.
So they smuggle drugs. And then Alex told me a story once. It's so funny. He and his friend were driving in La Linea at night, and Alex was just telling the story to his friend. Look, sometimes it's crazy. So the guys who smuggling drugs, so immigrants, they would swim to La Linea on the Zodiac boat, you know, the pump boat.
Yeah.
And then they would run with the boat across the town to get into the country, right? And as they were driving, they saw 8 men
No way.
running with the rubber boat on top of them, carrying the rubber boat, just running down the street like 12 at midnight. And that was the guys from Tarifa, from Africa.
That's crazy.
And sometimes when you kite here, you can see like the lost boats, basically at the beach.
We went for a walk and we saw them on the beach.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one that people try to get here from Africa.
Mental.
Okay, anyway, it's season 3, and today we're with Maddy Anderson. She's from UK, and I think the last time we've talked with the UK girls was almost a year ago. It was back in Mexico, and we talked with Jemima and Hannah. I think Hannah is no longer with you.
No, she's not kiting
No,
anymore.
okay. But before we jump into the UK team thing, I think I really want to know more about you. I've seen you biking a lot. I know you speak multiple languages. I think you finished the university as well, right?
Yep.
So, did you tell me about did you sail before, and how did you get into the kite surfing and the kite foiling?
Sure. Yeah, I've been a sailor for all my life, pretty much. And I raced competitively from the age of 15.
Mm-hmm.
And I was, competing and changing classes, sailing faster boats and stuff until the age of 20, and then I went to uni.
Okay.
And just did some uni sailing and a bit of offshore stuff, and I also learned to kite at uni. My boyfriend lived with a whole bunch of kiters, and so we got into it, and then we actually learnt here in Tarifa.
Really?
5 years ago. Yeah.
Nice.
And then
Have you seen the foilers or racers 5 years ago here?
no, I didn't know anything about foiling really.
No, I
back
think
in
not
the
foiling
day.
because 5 years ago was 2015, 2014.
Oh.
I think I was in Tarifa since 2013, and I switched to, because I was doing freestyle before it since 2009.
Yeah.
And in November 2013, I've switched to the racing. And I moved to school here.
Okay.
So-
in Tarifa.
Santa Grande, it's 30 minutes from Tarifa.
Cool.
And me and Alex were kiting here a lot on the race boards. Have you seen us
No,
ever?
No. I don't think so.
Okay.
We were literally we were here for a week in 2 summers.
Oh, okay.
I think 2014 and 2015.
Okay.
And yeah, I was as soon as I finished uni, which was 2018, last year, I had a really good summer of sailing, good racing, and I was pretty set on going full time sailing, sailing 49er FX perhaps.
Okay.
And
Which boat did you consider at the beginning?
I always wanted to go into the 49er really.
49. Okay.
I sailed cats. I sailed the NACRA for a bit, but I think I've always been a skiff sailor.
Did you sail the NACRA with the foils already, or
No,
before the
with the sea foil, so it wasn't fully foiling.
Okay, so it was before
Yeah.
the transition.
Yeah. And then there's, I don't know if you heard about the Kite for Gold program.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm sure the girls would have talked about it last season, but it was basically initiated by various sort of organising bodies in the UK, and they did a sort of talent ID program, and it just so happened that it worked out better that I went kiting instead of sailing.
Yeah.
And here I am.
Do you like kiting a lot, like foiling compared to sailing?
Yeah, I do. I love foiling, and kiting is just like, it's so much easier. Like it's actually so much cheaper, and like there's so many benefits to it. Like I do miss sailing. I miss doing something that I'm really good at, and I've spent years doing, but I've really enjoyed the challenge of
I actually
kiting.
think the kiting in general, if even if you're a sailor, like on the 49er or knocker where you have to hang from the boat, the kiting helps so much. Because I was talking with my coach Alex Chibzev, and he was a professional sailor before, and then he was a professional windsurfer before he became a professional kite surfer. But he was kiting since the beginning of this, in his 2000s, and he said that because on the kite you all the time hanging from the kite with your harness, just the feeling of kiting helps so much on the boats.
For sure.
He was sailing 49er as well, and he said just the feeling being in the harness and hanging helps so much to sailors. So even if you're a sailor, I think just trying kite surfing and experiencing these different dimensions of freedom.
For sure. It's so transferable.
Definitely. And then for the Kite for Gold, so it was, you just applied, wrote your skills, right?
Yeah, there was, I think it was like an online application process. I think like 120 girls applied from all sorts of different sort of disciplines. So there was like surfers, snowboarders, mostly sailors.
But at the end, how many girls from either kite surfing or sailing background made it into the team?
There was actually one girl who was a surfer, and she made it into the, I think there was a final group of like probably like 10. I can't really remember.
Okay.
It was like 8 to 11 probably, and most of them were sailors, windsurfers, and then Jimmy, who was always a kiter, so didn't race, and then one surfer, but mostly we all raced.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then but how long? So you've been kiting a couple of years before the program started, so you kind of knew all these little details about how the kite works and the twin tip.
Yeah.
Was it hard to learn foiling?
Yeah. I mean, I'm still learning, man. Like I've still got a long way to go.
I think so.
But
November 2019 is the 1 year anniversary of this
program.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how do you feel your progress went through this year?
Yeah, it's been pretty mad. I think we trained so hard last winter, and it was awesome because it was like everything was so new, and we were just all so stoked to like be doing something so different. So our progression was really like steep that last winter, and we would just like trying to learn to tack every single day, man. and then we started competing the last spring, so with the Hydrofoil Pro Tour in Mexico.
Yes.
And then just like competing throughout the year, and I think our progression like carried on improving, and like it probably wasn't quite so like steep. It sort of started to plateau a bit in the middle of the year, but like we're just I think getting to the stage where we can actually like hone our skills.
Yeah, I actually think, because I think we're kind of experiencing the same with the Russian team girls, and pretty much everyone. I think in terms of developing kite foiling, you have a couple stages. So the first stage would be just to learn how to kite, right?
Yeah.
And then you jump into the foil, and you kind of can really plateau at the stage, like to learn the tacks or jabs. So it can take a long time, and then as soon as you jump over the tacks and jibes, and you can go boost down and upwind.
Yeah. You
hit the stage where you need to develop your technique, like going up, and down, perfect the tacks, and at this stage, just basically knowing the theory doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
And really works is your own ability to feel how. For example, if I do the tack, I can't really explain how to do it. I can feel it.
Yeah.
and I know what kind of feeling I should experience at each stage of the tuck, but I cannot really explain in the book like how I'm doing it. Right?
Yeah, completely.
And I think that's a stage where like you just have to try as much as possible and just to try to feel for yourself how to do it, and it can take a long time. But I think as soon as you jump it, you basically jump into the next stage where you constantly developing your skills. Like for example, Alex Mazzella, right? He does his tucks jabs perfectly, but at this point he's not plateauing because he's always trying something new.
Yeah.
Because he knows there should be something better.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. And
Which is what's just so cool about this sport, actually, because it's like certainly like the top 10, like the level is ridiculous. Like it goes so fast, but like I still feel that the progression in the sport is just going to carry on developing, and that's what's pretty exciting about it, really.
Yeah, and I think what's surprising for me is when the first falls came out, the progression and development of falls like went really quick, and I thought that for the last like year and a half it may be plateauing, but since the manufacturers they're releasing the new foils, and it's so much different from the old ones. Yeah. And I just like I was thinking, yeah, it should stop at some point. And actually, it's not stopping. Yeah. So I've tried the new foils back in December, and they're so much better. Yeah. And I'm not surprised if for the 2020 registration, the manufacturer's going to release the new models, and they're going to be even better.
Yeah, for sure. And I think what with like the America's Cup foiling, it's LGP, and like all this sort of like foil mania in sailing as well, like it's just like there's going to be so much technical development in so many different areas that I think it's just like
what do you think as well what they as Olympics committee in general tries to push for the gender neutral medals, so they want to have equal both men and women?
I think it's really cool that like it's gender neutral. It's really important. I think to me it seems like a bit of a technicality that there's only one medal for each country. I think purely because there wasn't enough sort of medals to share around in the sort of discipline of sailing, and so they basically limited it to one medal for each country, which is a bit of a shame in a way because it means sort of
both. It's basically what it means is just like one rider can bring the other one down.
Yeah, right. In a way, like I think that's going to bring quite an interesting dynamic, but it could it certainly could be stressful. But I think it'll be really interesting. But I think I can imagine that setup changing. I think I have like complete faith that in 2024 like kiting is going to be really a really exciting discipline to watch, and I think like viewer numbers and stuff is going to be really high, so I think then there'll be more there could then be a change in the system, like maybe we're not doing relay or something like that. I reckon it could change for the next cycle, but
I think it definitely can. And then as in Qatar for the first World Beach Games, we had split fleets, girls and boys. Yeah. And I think even though it looked so nice, like they had the cameras and especially on the TV.
Yeah, it looked so good.
It was so good because you could see. First of all, it's really fast. The race takes 6 minutes. Yeah. So you don't get bored with a 40-minute race, right?
Yeah.
And then the position changes so quickly. Yeah. Like at the one where we had the three final races. Yeah. It was 4 guys, and when they were racing, first of all they were really close. One of the guys makes a small mistake on the tuck. He loses his first place, moves to the second place. Next tuck, other guys makes a mistake. And then they change the positions. Yeah. And I think it's so intriguing and interesting. And first of all, it's really fast, right? I think first of all, kitesurfing is definitely going to be the top watching sport out of all other sailing classes.
Yeah, I think so.
Because the dynamic is nuts. Yeah. And I think, especially after the Olympics, even more classes are going to move to foiling, because now we're going to have, in 2028, we're going to have at least kite surfing, nakra, and windsurfing on the foil. And I think they might even change other classes.
Yeah, for sure.
Or even maybe replace them, because I think foiling is just so much. It's like, I think it's natural evolution in sports, just moving up and.
Yeah, for sure. I think like kiting is just so much more accessible. everyone knows what kiting is now in the world, and like it, well, you know, to an extent, but like it's cheaper, and just I think it's going to be really exciting to have it in the games.
And I know you hadn't been racing before the Olympics program, but do you feel even throughout the first year, because I think 2019 was the first year at the kitesurfing was official Olympic Games. Yeah. Do you feel from the first event in 2019 back in Mexico to the last event of the year in Tarifa December for the Spanish series finale, do you feel that the amount of girls is increasing throughout the kitesurfing? Because when I was racing before, since 2013 to 20, basically 18, 19, we would usually get 3, 4, 5 girls at maximum, and there would be 2, 3 the best ones. So it would be usually Danielle and Ellen, and then the rest of them. Yeah. So do you feel with the kites? Because I think, what do you feel about the girls?
Oh yeah, generally? Definitely, and it's the numbers and also the like skill level is increasing so quickly. And I think actually our first event wasn't actually the Hydrofoil Pro Tour. It was an event called the La Ventana Classic, which was a few weeks before the Pro Tour, and it was hilarious because me, Ellie, and Jim topped the girls' podium, and we were useless. Like we couldn't tack, we couldn't jibe. Like it was hilarious. Like we were so bad, but we got 1, 2, 3
because no one was there.
Because there was hardly any girls there, and it was so funny. And compare that to like this like Spanish tour event, which is kind of quite a lot bigger, but like kind of an equivalent, right? Like it's not like an international event, but
I think it's way smaller because first of all, it's just a final series. Yeah, it was like it was announced I think like a couple months ago. So.
Exactly. But like there's been so many riders here, and the level of the girls competing is so high, like compared to that event in Mexico. Definitely. And so that's just really exciting because like we can actually. So it's got to a point where we can be proud of getting in the top 5, the top 10 of the girls, you know, whereas before it was like, you know, it wasn't that impressive because the level was so low kind of thing. So yeah, it's really, really cool.
Okay, and then it's definitely but personally for me, I like, in terms of mixed relay with the girls, I think for me it's much more fun. Yeah. Because I've been racing for so long that the races just became a routine for me. Yeah. Like there's no not really much of excitement because I know every step of the race, and I know like what I should do, where to improve, and it's like you look for the mistakes and try to make them better. And with the mixed relay format, it makes so much fun for me. Like just it's just looking out for the girls and then basically cheering for them up, and then just bring different aspects of the races.
I mean, I didn't race in the mixed relay at the Euros, but we were all cheering Ellie and Connor on, and it was the sickest thing to watch. Like it was so exciting, and like the lead changes were so quick, and I was so proud of our team. Like they did amazing. And
I also would wonder if, because it's basically 4 years till Olympic Games 2024, and I wonder if all the countries who's going to take part in Olympic Games are going to prepare both girls and girls for these Olympic Games, because I think it's for some countries 4 years might not be enough, considering that they've just started finding the girls and basically running them from the 0 level, learning how to kite and foiling. But I'm sure that 2028 and ongoing is definitely going to be the level of a team cohesion. It's going to be way higher. Yeah, for sure. Because everyone's just going to be going for that medal. Yeah. And then that was first year for you kitesurfing, and I'm sure you've traveled a lot for different events. What was your favorite place to go, and maybe what was the best thing and worst thing about it?
Oh man, that's a hard question.
I guess you can just say couple like top 3, top 5 places you've been to.
I think I've got to say, like, despite the fact that launching was pretty much impossible, kiting on Garda, although it's a bit of a cliche, was incredible.
The scenery is just
amazing.
With the cliffs, 100-meter cliffs.
I've sailed at Garda like quite a few times, but like I think kiting there tops it actually.
Do you know what I found? My favorite place about Garda is where we were raised. There was like the huge cliff,
Yeah.
just the straight down cliff, and
Yeah.
the best thing would be if you go really close to the cliff, and when you do the jibe, you just look up. Don't look down. You just look up, and it feels like you basically lose yourself in the dimension, the air, because you use the perception of up and down. And you just look down. You look the kite, and it's the favorite feeling.
It was pretty mental.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was sick. And I think Jitsu in Italy was really cool as well.
Yeah.
Though the plastic in the water was
This year
pretty
was
annoying.
the 2019 was bad.
Really
Like
bad.
before it was so nice, but this year the plastic was just next level.
It's such a shame, and I think certainly like the sort of discourse is starting to change in terms of helping with this huge plastic problem, and I think it's something that we can really like advocate as athletes.
Okay.
So I think it's something we can really push for, because it just ruins a race, man.
Yeah, actually I think we had I completely forget about it. I think we had an idea back in summer. I've talked with Mark as well to start, not like a movement, but like to start the advocating program for the like clean ocean. Like GKA, they have I think clean kiting or something. They have this. They basically like run an agenda of clean sport.
Yeah.
And we're thinking of doing the same for the kite, like making sure it's spoken in the media, and maybe doing some events where you say first day of the one where the registration is like everyone just can go out and clean the beach and you film it and be a part of the daily recap and just make everyone aware that like this is not bad and it's really damaging not only environment, but it affects the sport such as kitesurfing directly.
I think it's one of those things that actually, if you start talking about it, on day one of an event, then people start to change their attitude, and you should get to day 5, day 6 of the event, and there aren't plastic bottles all over all over the beach from the races.
Another agenda was to make sure, because there's when the IKA makes signs the contract with the organization to run the event. I think what they should put definitely is they can provide what they do, always provide water, lunch, right? But I think one of the point definitely should be provide the garbage bins.
Yeah, for sure.
Because like in Jazeera, they give water and lunches, but there is only on the beach. There is no place where to put your trash.
Yeah.
And then you end up putting like close to your board, but then the wind blows and the bottle just flies away, and like no one's gonna bother to run 100 meters on the beach to grab the water when they late for the race.
For sure. We like us British girls, we're actually ambassadors for the Big Plastic Pledge, which is a initiative that was set up by another British sailor, Hannah Mills.
Okay.
And yeah, check it out. It's really cool, and it's basically just trying to develop that conversation.
What's the name of the
Big Plastic Pledge?
The Big Plastic Pledge. Okay.
Yeah, you can check it out on Instagram and Facebook, and it's an epic program just to get people thinking about different ways that they can improve their or reduce their plastic consumption,
or at least reduce the waste, in terms of just trashing out the environment,
exactly. So
definitely. Okay, well, Maddy, thank you very much.
It's alright.
I think it was a great episode. It's an early morning. We have a coffee. We have chocolate raisins and some cranberries. So it was amazing. I think we're gonna go kite today, and again, it was a pleasure to have you on season 3.
Thank you.
And guys, if you doesn't matter if you're listening, viewing, just thank you for consuming the episode. And I think I'm hoping to get a bunch of episodes this season. Well, honestly, we're aiming for 24 to 1 episode each 2 weeks.
Sweet.
So and we're gonna have much more guests here. Maddy, do you want to say anything final to the viewers, listeners?
Thanks for listening. It's been really fun chat.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much, Maddy.